Hi Leo, welcome to your May 2018 love reading. It's Raina here, and yes, the cards are laid out because I have started this reading several times and there's always been some kind of a situation happening, so hopefully I'll be able to get through this. The heart of the matter for May is, for you, is the star, the Tower card. I said the Star card. And this can indicate some kind of sudden rupture. You could say like something comes to shake up your relationship out of whatever stagnancy, is that a word, that exists. And of course, in some cases, there could be secrets that are revealed. We have come off of 2 eclipses in Leo and in Aquarius, so that has activated the first 7th house polarity in the astrological charts of Aquarians and, of course, Leo. But since you're a Leo, I shouldn't even talk about Aquarians. But in any case, that may be something that this is the aftermath of that, because sometimes eclipse energy can last several months, after the actual date. And this could be like, if you're single, love at first sight, where it's just like hits you like a ton of bricks or like a bolt of lightning out of the blue. Now, in the case of a relationship issue, I have the feeling that, the feeling I got was that you might have wanted to get out of this relationship and the other person beat you to it. They beat you to the punch. But there may be like third parties around. I get 2 cards that have the number 2, so that could indicate, being on the fence torn between 2 lovers, or having to make a decision is really the main thing. And then I picked 2, speaking of 2 cards for the challenge position because they came out together. So I'm going to look at both of them. By the way, somebody responded to me and made a comment about the disposition of the card. And they said, as I was picking the cards, maybe I didn't do it exactly on camera. And they go, how do we know if it's in the upright or in the reverse position? And what I said to him is, it doesn't matter, because even if it's in the upright position, if I'm picking it for this particular spot, then it's going to be read in the challenging definition, whether that's upright or reverse, because some of the challenging cards are actually in the upright position. So we have here the 7 of Wands and the World card. So what I feel is that for some people, you have been in a situation with a partner who has really tried to make you feel like you are not good enough, okay? And whenever you have Wands, you're talking about ego or self-esteem. And of course, being a Leo, you're one of the Wands cards anyway, because the 3 fire signs. But fire sign people tend to get accused of egotism because they have a very strong ego. I'm a Sagittarian, I know. And it doesn't mean that you think you're all that. You may even have a lot of feelings of inferiority, but you still have a strong ego in the sense that you know yourself. So knowing yourself and having confidence are not necessarily things that go along together. And I'm sure there are some Leos who are like that as well. And so what happens when a fire sign person gets into a relationship where the other person is basically trying to downgrade them, and the way that they do it is they make these comments where you feel naturally inclined to defend yourself. Like they'll say, you're this or you're that. And they say things that are not true about yourself. And a fire sign person will tend to counter that. First of all, because we have masculine energy, so we give back what we get. We don't just sit there and take it like a victim. However, even though we're doing that, you get sucked into the victim role, because that's what this card is all about in a way, to me. And we're allowed to impose our own feelings onto cards. That's one of the things you learn when you do this kind of thing, is that you have to make it your own card. And for me, this card, you can see the defensive stance. But when you're in a defensive stance, it means that there's something to defend. If you were to talk to a Buddhist monk or something like that, there is no self, so there's no self to defend. There's really nothing to defend. Although we do live in the world and we do have our own identities. So that is, the Buddhist monk would be true, but it's also not true, because we do have our own sense of self in this lifetime. And it's very hard not to kind of take the bait when somebody does that. It really is. And I don't think that you necessarily have to, but if you're in that constant dynamic, then there comes a time when you need to take action yourself. And for some reason, you may not have done that, even though you knew that the relationship was not a good one. And this is, I think this was probably more common than we know for Leos, because they're fixed signs, and they tend to be very, you know, they may be confident, they may have a lot of wonderful qualities, but they tend to want to have things stay the same. And that just doesn't work sometimes. And the other card that we got here is the World card. And so I'm trying to think, because I think I got something similar. To me, too, with the World card, we're talking about expansiveness and also expansion. Oh, well, it's the same thing. And also ending a cycle. So that could be talking about that you haven't ended something that you should have. But also in the relationship itself, you may have not been able to do what you want. You may have felt that your freedom was kind of, that you were smothered, let's put it that way. And yet you remained in that situation. So looking at the reason behind all of this, we have the Ten of Pentacles. So if there is some kind of, you know, situation going on with a partner, and it would have to be like a married partner, because you would have shared resources. I guess if you were living with somebody, that might also be the case. But something where they could take you, where you could take them to court, they may have gotten ahead of you because they want to preserve their wealth. And so it might be a money thing. And I could kind of see how that would all play out, where you were in a situation that was not healthy, and where the person was putting you down. Like I think of like the trophy wife situation, where the woman's marrying the man for money, so she's not innocent, and he's marrying her because she's a bright, shiny object. That's what she is. And she, like, adorns his arm, makes him look like a stud, makes him look like really, like he's successful, he's desirable. And then she has a kid, she gains a few pounds or whatever, gets older. And then all of a sudden, the criticism begins. Now, even in that situation, there may be more going on. And actually, we have here the Two of Pentacles. It could be that this person, your spouse, is actually juggling two relationships. Also, this card deals with foreign travel. So like a job offer, maybe overseas. So if you have anything like that, the spiritual message might be saying you should go for it. You may feel like kind of closed in, but you if you have some kind of an offer that you've been kind of like avoiding because you don't want to take your eyes off of this situation, it might be the best thing for you. Even though you would be afraid that, oh my gosh, you know, what's going to happen? And so the other thing about this is that, I mean, my feeling is that this is happening to you, that you're not the one who's choosing between two partners. With the Tower card, a lot of people are afraid of it because they think it means some kind of a doom and gloom situation. But actually, the Tower card is a catalyst for change. And that's only scary if you're the kind of person who doesn't like change. Well, you are that kind of person probably, if you're a Leo. And that's something that you have to really look at within yourself, because you may be creating a lot of unfortunate situations, and even if you like move on to the next person, if you don't learn to do things differently, history will probably repeat itself. But this could also be in the job sector, where maybe you have a new job offer, and that's why we have the number 2, because you have to decide between 2 job offers, and yet you are afraid to make that move because you're so, that, you know, the current place is so familiar. So it's one of those interesting dilemmas that is connected to possible love of being security minded, and the known quantity, if you will, and that can keep you from getting what you deserve, you know, which is, you know, you're a very romantic sign, so you deserve to have somebody who's going to really appreciate you, Leo, because you love to be appreciated, don't you? Well, I think it's a human nature kind of a trait. Okay, I think I did these differently, so I'm going to... So the advice would be represented by the Devil card, and this is looking at how materialism impacts your life. How, and I will include even lust. But if there's some kind of, because as I mentioned with this card, if there's something that you were there, maybe that's why you were in that relationship to begin with, and you didn't love this person, then it just all happened as it should, because there's cause and effect. If the cause is 2 people getting together who are using one another, then the effect will be that they will not find love and compatibility with one another, because they're not approaching the other person as a human being. They're approaching them as an object to obtain something from them, like an open wallet or an open I'm not going to go there, but just you can fill in the blanks, sexual thing. So that kind of relationship is a degraded relationship, and that's why the Devil is associated with materialism and excessive compulsive behavior, you know, like a habit, a bad habit. What's coming in is it's decision-making time. But you have to take off the blindfold. You may still be in denial over a situation, and you're not sure that you're making a decision for the right reasons. If you're making a decision, and by the way, this could even be with the legal system, I feel, that both of you may decide to just like have a very quick divorce, but there's some stalemate. You know, this card can represent stalemate. So especially if you're with somebody who is an Aquarius, or I guess like a Taurus person, a Scorpio person, you might find that there is a lot of digging in the heels on both of your parts. What's the other sign? Taurus? Yeah, Taurus, Aquarius, or Scorpio. You may find that there's a lot of both of your parts that you're refusing to budge on something, and so then you don't get to move on with your life. This is about tying up loose ends. Well, I guess you will, because this is a great card for a fire sign. Ace of Wands, raring to go. New beginnings. And of course, this might be a prime time for you, where you feel that sense of just exhilaration and the newness of this experience of striking out on your own, that sense of independence, autonomy that fire signs love. So all's well that ends well, Leo. That's the important thing, right? Okay, well, if you like this type of reading, please click on the link below to get a private reading. A lot of them, especially love readings, I'm using your natal chart mostly, because that's more detailed for me, for what I'm looking for. But anyway, take care of yourselves in May. Bye.